I don't know how much more I'll have to say about this intro, but it's worth mentioning that most of it is animated as if it was shot in a fisheye lens. Like, you can clearly see it with the rain overlay. There's like curves around it. So last episode, you can clearly see that Naruto's on the left and Sasuke's on the right. We can agree on that. Cut to this episode though, and they've magically switched places even though like 5 in-universe seconds have passed. Like, that's such an easy piece of continuity. I don't know how you mess that up. They even showed the recap of last episode, like it's right in front of you. Sasuke puts Naruto's clones in a blender here, by the way. Also, he does actually kill 9 clones here, it's just hard to see. He kills 1 here, 2 at once here, another 1 here, kicks 1 here, it's just hard to see it, another 1 here, and then it's 7, 8, 9, all pushing him at once, which, well, you see what happens.
Fire style! Fireball Jutsu!
Really cool detail, but Sasuke's only really used fire style so far in this fight, which isn't really saying much because there's been only like 3 real moves, but it does show that he's been thinking about the Uchiha during this fight so far, because fire style is synonymous with the Uchiha, something further shown with a shot of Madara and also him learning fireball jutsu in this episode. That helps lead us into the flashbacks well, and overall is just a nice touch.
That was no ordinary Sharingan.
You're right, Sasuke, it wasn't. Anyways, imagine if these Sharingan light designs were real, that'd be cool. I guess if we're getting into architecture stuff, I might as well also say that Sasuke's got a nice-ass house. His family's probably rich, cause, you know, head of Uchiha and head of police force, but still. He's got like a pond, that's stupid rich. This subtle panic Sasuke has here is not only shown well, but is also very real. Like, this anxiety is very much something that would set in, cause you're usually too young to understand what's going on, so in your perspective, it would seem like your world is crumbling out of nowhere. And for Sasuke, a little brother, that doesn't really seem that, you know, fun to see.
How's everything going at the academy?
I feel like Fugaku only showing attention to Sasuke after he's beefing with Itachi is low-key like L-father activities. I understand we're really only seeing bits and pieces of Sasuke's childhood, so in reality, we have no clue if Fugaku's ever asked a question like this. But it does seem strange he gives this look to Itachi, then magically starts wondering how Sasuke's doing. But I also think that because this is something we're seeing, it means it's something that Sasuke's remembering. And if he's remembering his father asking how school's going, it means it's probably something that doesn't happen a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I think he was always gonna show him fire style, but I think this maybe has a hidden motive. Have you ever noticed Fugaku's fire style here is like the same size as the current Sasuke's? This either means that Fugaku's ass or that Sasuke's insane, which I'm more inclined to believe it's the second one. It'd be kind of embarrassing if the leader of the Uchiha was getting washed by a 13-year-old. Like, that'd be so embarrassing.
He's finally giving me a chance to show that I matter too.
Holy little brother mindset, by the way. One that's in reality created when his dad isn't, you know, a good one. Sorry to all the Fugaku fans, but yeah. I think this mindset specifically also plays into why he got so angry that Naruto was stronger than him when they fought at the water towers. Cause he's been that little brother all his life, so he got to pick on Naruto, someone who was weaker. But when he got stronger, it seemed like he was on the bottom once again. So, that's cool.
Fire style! Fireball Jutsu!
Why did I think you would be like Itachi?
Okay, but like, this isn't even bad. Sasuke's like 7 here. Sure, it's kind of the equivalent of a lighter, but first try just jumping into it immediately, I don't think this is anything to be disappointed in. But Fugaku's just a dick, I guess, and all that does for Sasuke is put him down and add even more pressure on him. Like, actually L-father, and I'm gonna get into that so much more later. I do like that Sasuke uses this for motivation. It shows his determination to be great. And just flipping this into fuel for his drive is something that's insanely mature for a 7-year-old to do.
A member of the Uchiha clan is not recognized as full-fledged until they can use the fire style.
Okay, here we go. This is probably where you click off the video if you're not ready to hear this. This is 100% supposed to be a comparison to quote-unquote becoming a man. I don't think there's a question here. Like, this moment specifically and the words Fugaku says, Sasuke, a young man, is being taught something by his father. He doesn't meet his expectations, so the father is disappointed and walks away. and then says this, like, there's no way it isn't. And let's make this clear, okay? I'm not saying this comparison is an outwardly and objectively bad thing here. I'm more criticizing Fugaku being a bad father. Cause his reaction sucked, and this being a comparison to becoming a man makes him seem even worse. And this is just the start of more elf father stuff, by the way. There's gonna be so much more.
The Uchiha Crest represents the fan that rouses the flame of our will.
That's a cool touch. I like that there's real meaning behind it. It's not just some emblem. Another cool touch with the Uchiha Crest too is that it's red and white, which are the same colors as Japan's flag, which can be seen as not only loyalty to the clan and pride in being an Uchiha, but also loyalty to Japan and having pride in being Japanese. So I have a couple things to actually say about Sasuke's training with Fireball Jutsu. The first one being that his training parallels him and Naruto as characters. Cause as we see with Sasuke learning Fireball Jutsu, he's working hard, but there also has to be some talent involved since he's learning it so quickly. And I mean, pair that up with Naruto learning something like Rasengan or even Shadow Clones, and yeah, they're pretty similar there. Both are talented, but also extremely hardworking. The next thing to know actually pertains to a line Kakashi said during the bell test. As he said, Genin can't do fire style because of how much chakra it requires. But Sasuke constantly training Fireball Jutsu here shows he's trained himself to where he can handle using that much chakra. He's used to the strain it gives, or rather, he doesn't feel it as much as any normal fire style user. Which makes this training so much cooler, cause it makes that line with Kakashi feel like it was planned ahead of time. Like this training is giving us an answer to why he can.
Hold on a minute.
What is it?
First off, shout out Sasuke's mom. Second off, you probably noticed at this point that Sasuke looks a lot like his mom and nothing like his dad. And now that we're here, I can tell you why that is. Fugaku as a character at this point is seen as someone who's very strict and harsh, also neglecting, with at the very nicest, someone who shows tough love, which overall can be boiled down as someone who's seen as more negative. Excuse the California accent for a second. Mikoto, on the other hand, is someone who's very kind, caring, embracing, and happy, which boiled down can be seen as more positive. Sasuke, at his core, doesn't exhibit the same traits as his father and very much acts like his mother. He tends to be pretty happy and upbeat when he's not internally struggling, and he seems caring and kind to the people around him. Overall, just like Mikoto, he's more positive. Again, when he's not dealing with the whole little brother thing. And the fact that in the present day, even when grown up a bit, he still looks nothing like his father tells us that this happy and kind Sasuke is still the real him, which we see in the climax of this fight and during it. I think you can maybe have different interpretations on why they look the exact same, but overall I think they all kind of boil down to this, which is really cool and is also something you can see in Itachi's appearance.
I could teach you every day for a week and it wouldn't help.
No. Not teach me. Watch me.
First off, cold ass Sasuke line. Fugaku should have just been proud of that. That's like the most Uchiha line ever. Second off, was Fugaku genuinely that unaware that Sasuke was training for however long? This is why I say shout out Sasuke's mom, by the way, because she knew he was.
Failure is not an option.
Wait, we've heard those words before. Where have we heard those words from?
Fire style! Fireball Jutsu!
Sasuke's 7 here, by the way. Sure, he's not on Itachi's level, but still, this is insane. And Fugaku's reaction is right. Like, what is this? He went from a blowtorch to, like, a fireball. Wait.
Now then, that's my boy.
So to all the very smart and perceptive people out there, you could probably tell I'm not the biggest fan of Fugaku. But even I can admit, right? Like, this is a good moment. It's the ultimate payoff for Sasuke here, and I love how you can tell Fugaku was debating whether or not to say it. These few seconds where he's walking, it's so obvious Fugaku's just thinking to himself, like, do I tell him? And you can see him decide in his head, like, yeah, I'm going to, because this is still an amazing achievement. And Fugaku said mastering fire style is like an entry for Uchiha, so of course he'd be proud of him. So it does show he just uses tough love. With that being said, however, just listen to me. I do feel like a hidden motive behind this was his beef with Itachi, just because of what he says right after this.
From now on, walk your own path. Not in the footsteps of your brother.
Like, for fuck's sake, I was just hyping him up. Sasuke can't have shit. And oh my god, it just makes Fugaku, like, An even worse father. In hindsight, we know about the coup going on behind the scenes, and at this point, Fugaku would know Itachi isn't on his side, or at the very least, he would have that feeling. So him saying this to Sasuke has that underlying meaning of choose the clan over the village. Which, don't get me wrong, makes sense given his current feelings of the village, but overall is very much not good considering he is planning a coup. And if that coup were to happen, Sasuke would be forced into it and he wouldn't choose the village, he would choose the clan. Which would then most likely lead to Sasuke dying really young. And like, as a father, why would you do that? Sasuke takes this line to heart too, not only because he doesn't follow Itachi's path in things like Mangekyo, but also in a surface level sense of clan over village.
Am I just someone to replace my older brother?
This is also a very real feeling for a little brother to have, especially given what Fugaku told Sasuke. He said the thing he always said to Itachi and then said don't be like him. Which, given Fugaku's actions towards Sasuke and towards Itachi, I'm sorry, but I'm really gonna assume that to some degree it is Fugaku seeing Sasuke as Itachi Part 2. Regardless of what Mikoto says in a second, the fact that Sasuke notices this, however, is really good because it means no matter what, he can't be another Itachi, which all around just makes for a great little moment.
Your brother is the firstborn and he's bigger than you are. And as the firstborn, he's going to have to assume his responsibilities earlier than you will.
First off, shout out Sasuke's mom. Second off, this is a really good thing to teach Sasuke. Not only because it makes Sasuke feel like Fugaku isn't as much of a dick, but also because it allows Sasuke to not compare himself as much to Itachi. Like, knowing he's older and being aware of that lets Sasuke breathe a little bit, which although we don't really see, it's still something that it can do.
So since it's your father's job to look after the clan, it's only natural he'd want to be sure that Itachi's ready to take on his role.
Okay, doesn't this kind of, well, prove that he's thinking of Sasuke as Itachi Part 2? At least to some degree. Like, Fugaku saw what Itachi did, and Loki has disowned him. And because of this, it wouldn't make sense for him to then take over the clan. So he now has Sasuke in that position, which would make him Itachi Part 2. And if you wanted to compare Fugaku's actions here, like, assuming this is true, that would be the equivalent of Fire Lord Azulon making Ozai Fire Lord and not Iroh. Which, like, if you watch Avatar, you know.
When we're alone and no one's around, the only one he talks about is you.
Okay, here we go again. I have two very conflicting ways of seeing this. First off is just what Mikoto is implying, which would be that Fugaku loves Sasuke a lot and is busy with the head of the clan stuff. But on the other hand, in my head, I'm still like, well, why can't you just show love to Sasuke anyways? Surely your attention can be split on both your children. Surely you can support both of them, right? And I'm not saying Fugaku doesn't love or care about Sasuke, it's apparent he does. Like, he did tell Itachi, promise you'll take care of Sasuke during the massacre. All I'm saying is that he's an elf father because he sucks at showing it, and he makes Sasuke feel like shit because of his lack of showing it. To me, it just seems like Fugaku uses a lot of tough love, but for Sasuke, he also has trouble, you know, paying attention to him. And the only time he can pay attention to him is when he fucking disowned his older son. Like, I don't know. This line is supposed to make us feel like Fugaku's actually a nice person, but I think it makes him worse, I'm not gonna lie. With that being said, it is good that it makes Sasuke feel happy, so I guess all my personal Fugaku hate is null and void. I feel like this moment sums up Sasuke's mindset really well. He's good, in fact, he's really good, but there still is that comparison from him. And even with Mikoto's words, that comparison won't leave, and like I said last episode, in reality, it never will. So, as many of you know, we've seen this part before in Search for Tsunade, so I won't really have anything to truly say about it. But I do like that we can now see it in a different light, given how much context we were just given to before this moment. Like, that allows this look Itachi gives here to have a lot more meaning. And it also allows what Sasuke says here,
He hasn't changed after all.
to allow us to now see that even in the Search for Tsunade flashback, this wasn't just an innocent Sasuke, it was a worrying one. And usually I'm against reusing flashbacks because I think it's just to fill time, but here I think it makes sense, so good job.
What's this? So you're already thinking about Sharingan now? Well, don't. It's far too soon for you to be worried about that.
You know, I actually will agree with Fugaku on that one. At least in Fugaku's perspective, it doesn't really make any sense for him to be thinking about Sharingan, given that he wouldn't know about Itachi's Mangekyo. And anyway, speaking of Mangekyo,
There is a visual jutsu that's a level above the Sharingan. It's called the Mangekyo Sharingan.
Mangekyo Sharingan.
fucking Fugaku can't say it right? This might be one of the worst dumb moments in Naruto. Like, how does Fugaku mess that up? Then young Sasuke just fucking perfects the pronunciation. This is really why I hate him, by the way. Forget all that bad deadbeat father stuff I was talking about. This is worse.
It's said that it can be called forth only under very specific circumstances.
I'm just gonna say this once, so I really don't have to say it later on. I think it's really good we learn about Mangekyo now, not only because it leads us into Sasuke's point of view during his fight with Naruto, but also because of how important Mangekyo is in Shippuden. Like, learning about it now sets the stage and almost allows us to have this information before getting into it when it really starts to matter.
He's a peculiar one, your brother. He's never cared about being liked or making friends or any of that.
But why is that?
As his father, you'd think I would have a clue, but I don't.
I feel like this makes Itachi feel like even more of a mystery for first-time viewers, especially since he's had like no lines in this episode too. And I think those two aspects put together can maybe give off the vibe that he's planning something. You know, maybe like a massacre? Obviously in hindsight though, we know he's just kind of quiet and maybe a little shell-shocked from the ninja world. But also right now, he does have that whole clan versus village struggle. But since first-time viewers wouldn't know that, it makes Itachi's mindset seem like one big question mark. Which is really good and really cool.
And after you get home today, I'll watch you practice your shuriken jutsu, okay?
First off, shout out Sasuke's mom. Second off, isn't she like a jonin? It's not practice, it's called training.
My brother was 7 when he graduated top of his class from the academy. He could use the Sharingan when he was 8, and he made Chunin when he was only 10.
Listing all this off really gives us a sense of the fucking mountain in front of Sasuke. Like, he's comparing himself to someone who is an Anbu when people his age are genin. It's not really fair. It's like a rookie thinking they can guard prime LeBron. Like, this guy is better than him in literally every way, and he's never not been. And just listing off his achievements makes him seem like he's already behind, which now allows the viewer to understand even further why he puts so much pressure on himself. So, very, very sad touch with Sasuke's eyes, but the current Sasuke doesn't really have the same glimmer in his eye as younger Sasuke, which could just be him growing up, but Itachi in the flashbacks also had it, so yeah. I think it's just better to assume he lost it because of, well, you know. Has anyone else noticed how long they're in the air for? Like, L physics. Put it in F, next to Fugaku. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this episode starts off really strong, then kind of falls off a cliff and into the water. Like, Sasuke learning fire style and his mom, his interactions with his mom are really good. But the second half is a lot of filling up the episode with things we've seen. I like that one interaction with Sasuke, but oh my god. We don't need to see Sasuke think about the Fugaku line, okay? We saw it in this episode. Not to mention, we're kind of just brought back up stuff that we already know. On the bright side, I think Fugaku is really good in this episode, which may come off as a surprise. Like, don't get me wrong, I was calling him a bad father, but that doesn't mean I think he's a bad character. I also think Itachi having very little to no lines in this episode is a great touch. Other than those things though, I really don't have anything else to say about this episode. I think it's the worst out of the 2 flashback episodes we've seen so far, but I don't really think that's a fair comparison. If you want to support me more than just watching this video, you can become a member on Patreon. And yeah, next episode, The Secrets of Mangekyo Sharingan.